pictures, just raise your hand and I'll feel the karma. Or you could do this. You could give me the elbow if you want to do it. Just don't give me the finger and we're okay. All right.
Use your reactions, guys.
Yeah, use your, okay. Hey, Jimmy gave me the hand.
Or
the hands
better
up.
yet, from our first class, cameras on, be present.
Okay, so I'm a co-host. That's good. So I could share screen?
Yes, you're good. I'm working on any technical things, so.
Oh, you're going to stick with us for a bit? You stick with us?
Yep.
Oh, you rock. You rock. Okay. Wow, I got all the controls. That's kind of cool. We got 15 people here today. So why don't, were you guys all on Monday's call with Joe?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And there's Sheena. Sheena's here.
Yeah.
Hi, Sheena. All right. Well, why don't we go around the room quickly for a minute? Now, I want to find out just a tad about you so know who you are, because some of the faces are new. Some of the faces have been here for a long time. We have a total of 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15 people. That's great. By the way, I'm Dean Moss. Many of you have known me, or if you haven't seen me, you'd likely have heard me at some point. Hopefully with clean language, G-rated language. I'm in the office at in Park Ridge that faces Bussey Highway on the north side, a couple doors down from Joe. Been in the real estate business for 26 years. Oh my God. We do a good volume. Last year was a little challenging. We're hoping for a great year this year. So why don't we just go in the room, take about 30 seconds and find out who everybody is. Who wants to begin? Just unmute yourself and speak up. About 30 seconds.
Hi, guys. I'm
Hey,
Sheena.
Sheena.
I'm Sheena.
Okay, tell us for 10 seconds, 20 seconds about yourself, Sheena.
Okay, I am on the Bella Homes team. I've been doing this for 4 years. I have 2 children with me now, so you might see my video go in and out. Recess is about to start soon. I love selling homes.
That is so good. Let's give it up for Sheena. Cool. Thank you, Sheena. Who's next?
I go next.
Shy. Hey, Akut.
I am Akut. I've been with Keller Williams since last June. So, and a great team. I'm always I feel always lucky to be working with you guys and getting all those good information from you. There's always a lot to learn, and then you guys put a lot into it. So I appreciate that. And I just sell home, buy home, and do whatever I can to make the clients happy. So here I am.
Okay, cool. Well, welcome. Let's hear it for Akut. Okay, who's next?
Okay, I am Shaheen, and we are husband and wife team, as you know. Dean, I know most of the people know that, yeah. So yeah, right now, my husband is working full time, so I'm doing most of the work, and I'm still learning. I'm kind of new, but still learning, and it's learning is everyday learning. We learn every day.
Oh, cool.
So
cool.
Here
cool,
I
cool.
am. Yeah.
All right, good deal, Shaheen. Who's next?
Hi, everyone. I'm Georgia. I'm part of also a husband-wife team with Jim Antonopoulos, and I started with Keller Williams in September. So I'm still on a huge learning curve as well, and coming out of being a stay-at-home mom for 3 years. I've been in real estate in some capacity, just never doing the direct sales agency. I did management and property development and all the background office stuff, transaction stuff. So I'm excited to learn and keep growing, expanding, and making 2021 an awesome year. Thank you.
All right, good deal. And your husband is the commander. Is he the commander or the general or the admiral? I forget his rank.
The commander.
Oh, he's here. Hey, Jimmy. Jimmy's here, the commander. So we salute you, sir. Who's next? Introduce themselves.
Okay, I'll do it, but I just got done working out. You don't deserve to see what I look like right now.
Come on. We know what you look like.
Yeah, I was here on Monday. I've been doing this a long time too. And I think you're always learning something you don't know before, especially when you go through a transaction. And you know what? It motivates you too, especially at this time when you don't see anyone and you're in the office. And so, anyway, that's it.
All right, Jane, and you're beautiful. However way you are. Who's next? Thank you. Who's next? Maybe Dominic. You want to unmute
Hi,
and tell us
guys.
about yourself? Hey,
Yes,
it's Dominic.
hi, Dominic Chiappetta. I started with Keller about in November. It's an understatement. We're learning so much. I feel like I'm looking at my island. I have books, I have papers, I have reports. So I'm just excited to get started and building my business and hopefully sell a house very soon.
Oh, we're working on it. We got us cheering for you. Here, we're all going to cheer for you.
Yay.
All right. Who's next? Who's next? Come on, come on. Don't be shy.
I'll go next. Hi, I'm Kira. I've been with Keller Williams for just about a year now. I guess, had my anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Thanks. I'm looking forward to learning a lot from this Ignite series. So I'm excited to get going.
Well, we'll help. We'll deliver on the promise for you. I hope I do. If not, you can send me nasty grams,
Okay.
That's kind of cool. Thank you. Welcome, Kira. Yay! Who's next? Anybody?
I can go next.
Oh, I'd love it if you can, Michelle. That'd be great.
Sorry, my little girl.
Did you just work out too? Because I can't see your face.
No, because it's not ready yet. The face isn't ready yet.
The face isn't ready.
But,
okay. Yeah, my wife told me about that stuff. Okay. So tell us about you, Michelle.
I personally love real estate because it's so flexible. It's not that. There's good and bad in the not 9 to 5, but being a stay-at-home mom kind of really made me realize how important my family is. So I like the ability to be able to do both. And I can still be as successful as I want to be while keeping family a priority,
All right.
Have to take a back burner or, sit on the back burner. So I really enjoy that. And you can change, even if you've been, like you said, 26 years in the business, you can hop into another area of real estate if you really wanted to,
Okay.
So I really like that.
Oh, that is so fantastic. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. That's fantastic. We got a few more people. I know whoever wants to hang in the back, we're not going to force you. But does anybody else want to say howdy? Tell them who you are so we all know each other.
Hey,
Hey, it's one of the Jimmys. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Go, Jim.
Hi. I recently joined in December. Just looking forward to this whole Ignite series and definitely this one in particularly the lead generation.
All right, fantastic. Okay, let's get one more person introduce themselves because the group keeps growing.
Hi,
who else wants to tell us who they are?
Myself.
Okay.
I'm Christina Gutierrez. I'm actually part of Bella Homes team with Sheena Gutierrez and Daniel Gutierrez.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so I just actually signed on at the beginning of November. I'm super excited to be here. I just was really ready to kind of step forward. I've been a stay-at-home mom for 5 years now. I just kind of wanted to find somewhere where I could put my kids first. And Sheena does it so effortlessly. So hopefully I can.
Is that true, Sheena?
She does. So hopefully I can at least get halfway there.
Well, we'll try to get you a little more further down the line. Now, is that you in the beautiful blue mask? Because it says iPhone. Is that you?
No, I'm right here. Give me 1 second. I'm here. I don't think it's working. Oh, here I am.
Oh, there you are.
Hi.
Hey.
It's early. I'm pregnant. I'm looking a little scary today, so I left my webcam off.
Oh, your face isn't ready. You're beautiful. When are you going to have the baby? Any
July.
minute?
July.
Oh, you got a little bit of time. That's great.
It's babies. So we're excited.
Babies?
Yes. Thank you.
Do you have a general idea of number, or is this going to be so it's going to be 2, or is it going to be 8?
It's 2. It's 2.
It's going to be 8. You got other issues. You're going to have an automatic real estate team. That'd be great.
Oh yeah, we're up to 5 with these. So it's
oh my gosh. Can't even imagine. Welcome to session session 2, which is lead generation. It is the core of your business. If you haven't already, you could get the paperwork, the summary, or what do they call workbook. It's through command. Does everybody know how to do that? Lydia?
Yes, I will be posting the link in the chat
super.
if you don't have it yet. And I just know some people picked it up at the office. If you want one,
Good.
if you want one, message me and I'll make sure we have one printed and ready for you.
Oh, cool. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. And by the way, Lydia, tell us, for those that don't know, I mean, everybody's met you, but just generally, who are you, Lydia? And what are you doing here?
Well, see, I didn't say anything because I think everyone on this call knows who I am.
I think everybody knows you.
But I am the agent services coordinator for our office, tech coordinator. I am also an agent. So I am learning right along with you guys.
Okay.
And I have to say, like on Monday's call, we had I'm so glad that all of you came back and we have some extras today. So that's awesome.
Oh, you're great. We are expecting several members of Congress to join us today. They have a kind of a meeting at noon, but before then I said, yeah, they might stop by for a few minutes. So if anybody gets bombastic, beside me, just let me know. We'll throw them out of here, All right. Okay. Now I want to put up my PowerPoint. So let me go ahead and share my screen and iCloud Drive. Hang on just a minute. Hopefully this will work. And if it doesn't work, documents. And I do not have my PowerPoint. You want to give me a tip on how I can share this PowerPoint, Lydia?
PowerPoint open on, because you're on your iPad. Is your PowerPoint open on it?
It could be.
Yeah, once it's open and you hit share, it'll show up as an option to share.
All right, let me do this. And guys, bear with me because I'm not as technically savvy as Lydia is, but this will help drive the point home. So hang on just a second. And do slideshow. And I'm going to say from start. So it's open. And how do I share? So you hit share screen, of course,
Hit
right?
Share, and then it should come up as one of the options to share.
Hit share on the PowerPoint?
Hit share. Well, yeah, start sharing the PowerPoint and then switch to back to Zoom and then hit share screen. And you should.
Hang on. Share. Hold on.
And I just posted the link to the material for this class in the chat, everyone.
Okay, hang on. I'm on there's no real share button on PowerPoint on the iPad. I see save a copy, send a copy, export.
Present, I mean.
Present is on. Pardon me, guys. Sorry, this was one of those technical glitches from start. And does it say share?
I
don't see a share. Normally I see a share button, but I do not see a share.
Because what you're viewing is just a regular old the presentation, right? When you have PowerPoint.
It's the presentation. The other option is you could put up the presentation because we're co-hosts.
Yeah, I can do that. I was gonna offer that. I know you want to have control.
No, I'll just say move it up. Share screen. Share screen. Can I share screen? Does that do it? Let's see what happens. Everything on your screen. Okay, enable do not disturb. So start broadcast. And let me pull the screen up. And do you see a presentation or no?
No.
Probably not. Okay, so something's going on. So without further ado, if you could take over and put up the presentation, and I'll tell you, I'll just go next slide and we're all set. That okay, Lydia?
That sounds good. And I'll have the
video. She's going to share.
Ready as well.
Okay. Oh, you'll have a video too? Okay. That's cool. That's cool. Hang on. A second. Okay. Are you sharing the screen or are you working on it?
I'm working on it.
Okay. So this is going to be good because we're going to kind of go into what agents do every day, what I do every day. Not that I'm any major iconic thing around here or anything like that, but some of the things we do, and over the years we've had a modicum of success. If you don't know what modicum means, look it up. Some success. Okay, let's see. I see something happening. Okay, Lydia, you got blue hair. That's good. You have a halo.
Hold on. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you wonderfully.
Okay. I know I might have frozen up right now.
Ooh. See, when I hit share screen, I just don't get iCloud Drive. Let's see. See, I don't have an option for. I don't have an option for this PDF. I mean, it's not PDF PowerPoint. No, I don't have an option for that. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'll shut up. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. One moment, please.
No problem. Can anybody do finger puppets? You know, like, something's happening. Oh, something's happening. It's what are they going around buffering? Pinch out for bigger view. It's a black screen. Does everybody see a black screen or somebody see? All right. We're getting closer. We're getting, there we go. Hey. All right. Next slide, please. So what do successful agents do every single day? What do we do every day? What does Kim Johnson do every day? What does Christina Gutierrez do every day? Well, we do two things. We run our business and we grow our business. All right. So today we're going to talk about growing your business, because what our objective is in this first part of Ignite is to deal with getting people that haven't had their first appointment within 30 days. And if you're ever stuck or you need a kind of a kick in the you-know-what, we want to get you an appointment in the next 30 days. What do we have to do? So starting with growing your business, we lead generate. Have you ever heard that before for lead generation, right? We make seller listing presentations. We get listings, and listings are the name of the game. In other words, when you do listings, they throw off buyers. Make buyer presentations and you preview real estate. That's how you grow your business. Can anybody give me examples of ways to lead generate? Who wants to pipe in?
Facebook social media post.
Okay, Facebook social media posts. All right, good one. Who else? Give me another way.
Calling people, spear, and expired, canceled listings.
Okay.
Them. Yeah.
So picking up the phone, calling people. Anybody get a little scared when you pick up the phone to call people you don't know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a little crazy. But see, you got to make it fun. Before you make those calls, you got to say, nobody's going to hurt you. Nobody's going to reach out over the phone, punch you in the nose. You got to make it a conversation. And when you can do that, when you get over that little hurdle, that little bump in the road, you'll do real well. How else do you lead generate?
Geofarming.
Geographic farming. So what's geographic farming? Corn or soybeans?
When you target an area that you want to grow your business in and you continuously send flyers to this area.
Mm-hmm. You become the local market expert, right? That's your intention. So what you want to do is you want to create a situation where when people think real estate, they think of you, right? Not of anybody else, but of you. And you want them to get to the point where after a period of time where you're dripping on them, calling them, touching them, letting them know who you are, when they have a real estate need, they won't look in the phone book or the white pages online or whatever. They're going to say, I got to call Sheena. And you're the only one they call. That's the objective. One more type of lead generation.
Can be doing open houses.
Open houses. Thank you so much. I was fishing for that, Akut. What do you get out of doing open houses?
Well, you basically meeting with the buyers face to face. You have a chance to talk to them, and you create new clients, new buyer clients that way.
See, because here you got people in a house now. Obviously, this is still COVID time, right? We got to be careful. Mm-hmm. We got to stand 6 feet apart. We got a mask. We got to wash our hands, right? Mm-hmm. But
yes,
if you properly handle an open house, you meet people. And the value of meeting people is they know you. They don't not know you intimately, but they'll know you. And they'll know you're a nice guy or a nice lady. And if they have a real estate need, because Untitled, if they have a real estate need, they'll call you. So it's a great top line way to meet people, even if you don't sell that specific house. Open houses, that's Gary Keller's favorite way of lead generating for new agents. Sit somebody else's open. And you'll meet people. And if you sit any of my opens, well, then if you get any buyers, they're your buyers. Of course, I'll help you with them for free. Well, maybe a little bit, buy me coffee. But that's a great way. Next slide, please. Lydia, you there? All right, so we're going to focus on today lead generating for buyers and sellers. That's our focus today. Right? Because if you look at the right side very quickly, running your business, well, all that's important. Market, seller, buyer listing, show buyer's house, negotiate contract, transaction management to closing, vendor management, set goals, compliance, and risk management, attend training and get coaching. Obviously, you have to do that. But what we want to do is we want to get you business, because if you don't have business, everything else becomes irrelevant. This isn't a theoretical, not-for-profit business. We want to make you money. Who wants to make money in this business? Raise your hand and say, aha.
Aha.
All right, so we got it. I knew that Jane Faber's right on board. I know that. So that's what we want to do. How can we grow the business? Next slide, please. Thank you so much, Lydia, for being my right hand. So this is basically what we're going to go through today. We're going to talk about lead generation. We're going to talk about how to build your database. And there's going to be a great video from Jason Abrams and Mike Voorhees down at Keller Williams Realty International in lovely Austin, Texas. That's going to tell you how to do that, and also show you a little bit your introduction to command and putting leads in command. And it's so cool. I had Sue does that for me on my team. You might not know my wife, Sue. She's my EA. And I said, look, I got a presentation tomorrow. How do you put leads in command? So she gave me a crash course. So anyway, we'll go through that, the sales pipeline, what happens, what daily success habits do you have? And we'll go through some of those, and I could answer questions on that if you like. And then at the end, most importantly, a recap and ahas. This will probably take us till about 11:15 today. And I'm here as long as you need me. And after the class, if you think of something later, just come get me. You could get me through the office, or you could text me, and a text. If you could put my cell phone number in the text box, that would be greatly appreciated. 773-790-6828. I don't know if Lydia, if you could do that. And any questions, I'm here to help. All right, next slide. Thank you. All right, so here's the big picture. So we got this funnel on the right-hand side. And I want you to read a book if you haven't already. It's probably the first thing they hand it to you when you walk in the door at Keller Williams Realty Partners. It's The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Anybody not know what the Millionaire Real Estate Agent is? Okay, by acclamation, everybody knows. The key is we're going to talk about the lead generation model, and this tells you how everything comes together. So if you look at this, and you also have a printed copy on the actual workbook for the class, the lead generation model starts with prospecting and marketing, okay? So here's a question for you, quiz question. What's the difference between prospecting and marketing? We're going to answer in a couple minutes. Anybody want to hazard a guess? Nobody knows nothing. Oh my gosh. Prospecting. You pick up the phone, you go to social media, you put out, you have a two-way conversation with somebody. So the important differentiating factor with prospecting, it's a two-way conversation. I say to you, Jane, good morning. And what do you say back to me?
Hello.
See, that's two ways. That's different than if you send out a message on Facebook and you don't know if anything is happening to that message you send out on Facebook. Marketing is what? Give me an example of marketing.
Posting an ad. Posting an ad.
Thank you, Kim, so much for participating. So you put an ad. It's not two-way, right? If you send out an email, yes, they can respond to you, and then that becomes a good lead for you or good contact for you. But if you're just putting an ad, in the olden days, so you've put ad in print, nothing's happening. It's just marketing. Now, typically what happens as you grow your business, you might want to use more marketing. Initially, prospecting is the way to begin. So how much does prospecting cost you typically? How much does it cost to make a phone call to somebody?
Zero.
Zero. I like that. I like that, Kim, because you can pick up the phone. Now, in the olden days, each phone call cost like 4 cents. It's not like that anymore. You have unlimited minutes on your cell phone, right? So you have to capture your leads through prospecting and marketing. Let's go to the next slide, please. So the objective, as you saw from the previous slide, is to define what your big why is. And generally, big why for a lot of people is make a certain amount of money so you could run your life. More than feeding your families, you want to have a life. You know, subsistence isn't what we're going for here, guys. We're going for flourishing. We're going for success. Now, the next line talks about your database, the lead generation model. And there's two things you capture in the lead generation model. So you have leads and you have contacts. Difference, anybody, between leads and contacts?
Not every contact is a lead.
Well, not every contact is a lead, and importantly too, Jane, thanks for participating. Not every lead is a contact. Has anybody ever subscribed to something? I don't know. It's an obscure company. Maybe you've heard of it. It sounds like pillow and begins with a Z. Anybody hear that company?
Yes.
All right. So you could spend money, usually several $1,000s a month, and you can get leads from Zillow. Do they know you? Those leads.
Nope.
See.
No, they don't.
I used to spend, many of us have been in business a while, spent several $1,000s a month saying we're going to get vetted leads from Zillow. The problem with the vetted leads from Zillow is they're not making you money yet. They're costing you money until you do what with those leads?
Convert them.
You got to convert them, right, Kim? You have to turn them into contacts. So contacts are the people that have a two-way relationship with you. Hi, Kim, how are you? I noticed you clicked on my listing and you want more information about my property on 1234 Bump to Bump Way. What could I tell you about that property? Kim?
I want to know how much it is.
All right, and then you can go through it. If you, by the way, if you tell them what it is, they will normally say what?
Thank you, and hang up.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So you have to come up with a script. So you want to engage these people, because if you have the skills to engage leads that call you back, they become contacts, and eventually they go further down in the funnel and they turn into your database, right? So you can have two types of cultivated leads, right? You can get those that are nurtured and those that are qualified. You got to do both to them, and you got to determine the priority. You could have some leads that say, well, I'm just calling. I was just driving around the streets. I happened to see the house on the side of the road, 1234 Bump to Bump Way, and I stopped. And the reason I stopped is because I rammed into the guy in front of me. And while I'm here, I figured I'd call you, find out about this house. By the way, I have no desire to buy a house now or in the near future, but I just figured I'd talk to somebody, until the police come, right? Now, that's a different kind of lead than somebody that says, I've been looking around for 4 months. I'm driving down Bump to Bump Way and I find this house. And I got to tell you, this is the house I've been dreaming of since I was 14 years old. A little different quality, right? It's a matter of cultivating those leads, because the objective you have, once you've gotten the lead, turned them into a contact, cultivated them, you want to eventually create an appointment with them to talk to them or see them or Zoom them. You want to make them an active contact, and eventually you want to put them under contract, and eventually you want to close. That's how you make money in the real estate business, taking strangers and turning them into clients depending on their time frame. Now, that guy that says, I'm not going to be buying a house for another 2 years, how do you treat that person? You just throw them out, or what do you do with them?
Add them to your database.
Yeah, you add them to your database, because they might not be what I would call a now buyer, but eventually, if you create a relationship, you're going to be the one they call. Remember we talked about that a few minutes ago? You want to create people, when they are ready to go, they call who?
Me.
You, right? You don't want him to call, you don't want him to call Jane or Kim or Sheena, or Shaheen, you want him to call you. So how do you do that? See, that's the name of the game. And if you have an opportunity, take this slide here and put it on your wall, because this is basically how to make money in real estate, create the lead generation model, okay? Next slide, please, Lydia. All right, so you see that the path we're going down, it's a matter of lead generation, putting leads in the database, creating a sales pipeline, the daily success habits. So you every day you go through this. And one of the things I want you to do as we move forward here at the end of this, I'm going to say, okay, who has an aha? And what is an aha? I'm going to define it for you. You can define it any way you want. But an aha is something that you're going to put into action right away to build your business. So I'm going to go around the room and ask, what's your aha for today? And I'd like you respectfully to say, this is what I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to put in my business right away. Next slide, please. All right, we talked about this before, and I think you guys understand. Does anybody have any questions or contacts or comments about the difference between prospecting and marketing and the difference between leads and contacts? Anybody? You know where we're going? So remember, it's the difference is a word called engagement. It's like if one of these days, guys, I don't know who's a baseball fan, but one of these days we're all gonna go to Wrigley Field. Well, some of you might go to Comiskey Park or whatever they call it, the guaranteed rate field, but you're gonna go to a ballpark or you're gonna go to a hockey arena or whatever, you're gonna see a basketball game, and you're sitting in your seat. And there's a different relationship between the 40,000 people that are sitting around you in the ballpark or the arena and the people that are sitting next to you in your row. Your objective is to get everybody in, as many people in the ballpark as you can in your row. That's the difference between prospecting and marketing and converting leads to actual bona fide contacts. Now, what we're going to do next, we're going to watch a video. So when we click the next slide, we're going to see a great video. It's going to be Jason Abrams, David Voorhees. It's going to talk two things. It's going to talk about the importance of lead generating, and it's also going to give you a little introduction about KW Command in creating your database. So let's move forward. All right, thank you. We're getting there. We're getting warmer.
What? Okay.
Everybody, shh.
Of real estate agents across this country that have not made the decision to be the real estate agent of choice for their people. I commend you, David commends you on making the decision to come back and watch this next module. Now we got to make sure that you jump right into it. Here's the thing. There's no way to cultivate and stay in touch with the data bank unless you actually add the people in. You see, that comes first. We get
Uh-oh. All right, we having trouble?
Yeah, video is very choppy.
Video's choppy.
Can you guys hold on a second?
and then you can click add more information to move.
Okay, go back. See if you could rewind this briefly.
So
see if it went smooth, we wouldn't be learning. See?
Yeah. So I don't know if oh, you guys don't have sound. Whenever we play back videos in Zoom, they don't always play back as great. Hold on. Optimize for video clip. Let me try again and I'll start it over. And I'm going to turn my camera off so that's not taking up my bandwidth as well. So one moment.
Thank you. And rewind it if you can.
Move from there. Now when people start doing this, the first thing that they
see.
Hey, you're back. I'm so glad you are. You realize how special and unique it is to actually make the decision to want to be the fiduciary for all your friends, family, neighbors, relatives? I want to tell you, there are scores of real estate agents across
little
this
choppy,
country that
guys.
have not made the decision to be the real estate agent
We're getting
of choice
warmer.
for their people.
Yeah,
I
still
commend
choppy,
you.
but getting
David
warmer.
commends you on making the
Lower
decision
the
to come
quality
back
on the
and
video.
watch
That might
this
help.
module. Now we got to make sure
I
that
don't
we
know
jump
if I
right
am
into it.
able.
Here's the thing. There's no way to cultivate and stay in touch with the data bank unless you actually add the people in. You see, that comes first. We get people into the system, then we follow up with them with frequency and intensity. So adding a contact into the system becomes absolutely pivotal.
Yeah, it's really hard to track the interactions with your database without actually having a database.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Perfect. So there's a couple different ways we can do that. The easiest and simplest way that you'll probably start is by adding an individual contact. You can do that by clicking the Add Contact button in the top right-hand corner of the screen. You can go through, then this modal pops out, and add any and all information you like. You're going to see very basic information at the start, and then you can click Add More Information to move from there.
Now, when people start doing this, the first thing that they do is they say, well, I don't know somebody's phone number, or I don't know somebody's email address. And then they go and they open up Google and they start doing searches to get that information.
Totally, 100%.
And that's not the best practice.
No, this is a massive opportunity for you to lead generate for that information from your database. And I think there's a couple kind of standard pieces of information that we would suggest you get for everybody, right? Name, phone number, email address. You're big on the physical address.
Yeah. No, here's number one. If you don't know their name, they're just not your person. That's just how that goes. If you don't know their email address, which by the way, there's a lot of people in your life whose email address you don't know, that's the opportunity to call them and actually get the email address. Remember, every time you make contact with anybody in your data bank, it's upon you to make that touch valuable to them and you. A valuable touch to them makes them smarter about residential real estate or brings some sort of touch of enjoyment into their life. I don't care if you're just talking about football, as long as they're enjoying the conversation, because people do business with people they like. On your end, every time you talk to them, it's an opportunity to fill in maybe a missing piece of information within the system. Think of this. Every piece of information that you're entering is another brick in the relationship, because the more you know about people, the more people you're going to realize you know.
Yeah, this whole thing's about database. And the more you connect, the deeper you connect, the better that relationship's going to be, and the more these people like you, trust you, and do business with you.
Yeah, you mentioned physical address. That's a big one. I really want to get clear on it. Friends, we help people buy and sell residential real estate. For the most part, these break into two groups, homeowners and investors, and homeowners that they actually live in the properties. And by far, that's the largest group that we end up presenting. Your job is to sell real estate. If you don't know the address your people live in, they are not your people. You have to know where they live. If you don't, it's impossible to send hyperlocal real estate information to them. It's impossible to send them a piece of physical mail. And it's impossible to give them any sort of comparative market analysis on their house, pretty much meaning you add zero value to their life in the form of a residential real estate expert.
100%. And I think, you talked about physical and cyber in the beginning video, right? We just talked about email and physical address. Those are both of those pieces on your contact card.
Hey, Dean.
Yeah.
How about we send the link out for this, because I'm getting lots of messages.
Okay, I get you. I'm seeing them. Okay, so let's do that, because it is, you could follow it, but it's kind of distracting. So cool.
Yeah.
Sorry
All right,
about
I just sent
that.
the link out for everyone.
Okay, so obviously don't look at it now. Engage with me. Flip to the next slide. Thank you for your patience, by the way. This is what you call being flexible, dealing with adversity.
Yes.
And tea time over. Back in your heads. There's Monty Python. Okay. All right. So we talked about lead generation. Next slide, please. All right. So we talked about this before, because here's the reason I want to talk about this. There's nobody on this call, but you might have run into somebody that has what you call a New Year's resolution. Everybody knows what the problem with the New Year's resolution is?
There's no step-by-step plan to achieve that.
Right. Yeah, that's what they. Yeah, there's little accountability. You can say anything you want, and most times people, what they do is say, my objective is to lose weight. Common? I want to get into shape. So if you were to go out on the 2nd of January, if you would have gone out 3 days ago and drive by your local LA Fitness, and you look at the parking lot, How many cars are in the parking lot? 2nd of January. They made their New Year's resolution to lose weight. Huh?
It was
A
full.
lot.
A lot, right? Everybody's there. You have to wait for a machine. You wait for a trainer. You wait to pay your money. And then you want to get into the health club and you work on any machine you want, park wherever you want, right near the door. When do you go back to the health club?
3 months later.
Well, even if you go with the 27th
In
of the month,
February.
you go, right, where is everybody? Everybody's gone, right? So the objective is, there's a problem with making unaccountable goals because you don't really do them. And when you go ahead and do the work to get new clients, you have to make your money work for you. So for example, people want that magic pill. I tell you, I don't want to work out. I want to take a magic pill and lose 10 pounds. Has anybody found that pill yet? Because if you have, send it to me, right? And I won't have to work out anymore. That'd be great. We could all sit around and eat hunks of chocolate cake and not lose, but you have to work at it, right? So many people say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to spend money on a marketing campaign. I'm going to go to Zillow. I'm going to buy leads. In the olden days, I want to be on the first page of Google. And then I could just go like this and sit here and boy, the money will be rolling in. Hey, you experienced agents, when does the money start rolling in without effort? Anybody? Jane, Sheena? Does the money ever just keep rolling in?
Never.
No, it doesn't. You have to work at it. And the analogy I use is if you ever been to the forest preserve and you want to get water from one of those pumps, so you could be pumping for an hour, your arm is getting sore, and then finally you see a drip of water. And you, oh my gosh, so you pump harder, the water stream gets bigger and bigger. Finally, the water is cruising, right? You could fill bucket after bucket full of water. But then when you take your hand off, right, after a while, the water stops, you have to pump again. That's the deal with marketing. Marketing and prospecting each have their place, but marketing costs money. Marketing is passive, it's not interactive. Marketing can produce long-term results, okay? And you want, initially when you're starting, you want immediate results. And that's why we always advise people, especially new people, to prospect or to lead generate. Time is, you could do it quickly. If you find a for sale by owner or an expired that needs to sell, you know they need to sell. And when you contact them, something happens right away. I got the wrong slide. Forward, please. Okay. And it's proactive. It produces immediate results because the objective of this class is to get your results when? Now or months from now?
Now, within 30 days.
Now.
Yeah, because here's the deal. If you say, well, I'm patient, I don't care if I get money. Well, the thing is, eventually your rent or your mortgage is going to come due and you got to pay it. You can't go to your bank or you can't go to your landlord and say, hey, you mind if I pay my rent in 6 months? No, they're not going to listen to you. Maybe in COVID they have to, but under general terms. So what we're doing is we're coming up with a way to make money now, not months from now. Next slide. All right, so see where we're heading with this? The lead generation model, what we're going to do, that funnel, which I hope you make a picture of and stick over your computer every day, how to build your database, and the database results in creating a sales pipeline. Next slide, please. All right, so what happens is, I'm missing a slide. There's a slide that says part 2 database, and it talks about leads to contacts. Do we have that slide? That's the one. No, the one right after that. All right. So this is important to read and important to internalize. When you have leads, you have a different contact strategy than if you have actual contacts. Okay, and this is all numbers vetted by Keller Williams, by Jay Papasan and Gary Keller down in Austin. So if you have just leads, you don't know when they're going to turn into an actual ready-to-buy contact. You make 4 touches: quarterly phone call, monthly email or newsletter, a market report, or a video. In some cases, an actual piece of direct mail. You might actually want to do 2 touches via direct mail a couple of times a year, like a Christmas, we call Christmas calendar, like a Happy Thanksgiving card, like a Cubs schedule or Sox schedule for those of you that are the other side of town. So I don't want to offend anybody. You know, I don't want to talk politics. I don't want to talk baseball too much. So if you like the Milwaukee Brewers, well, not really. I'm not respecting the Milwaukee, but whatever it is, God bless you. It's how you connect with people. And one annual event. Now, we used to have, in our team, we used to have nice parties. We'd serve pizza, beer, etc. So that worm has turned for COVID. So we have online stuff. We have an online Christmas sweater competition, an online "What are you grateful for?" Thing for event for Thanksgiving. We had a Chicago haunted trivia contest for Halloween. We're going to have we have to get the title down, a Stupid Cupid thing for Valentine's Day. It's not going to be that. We're going to do something to engage people, not necessarily sell, but engage people. And contacts, you all of a sudden you contact them 36 times. You ramp it up because these are people are closer to the buying decision. 4 touches over the course of a year, telephone calls, bi-weekly emails, more events, and more specific touches like direct mail. So maybe you send them a Christmas and a Thanksgiving card and a 4th of July flag, which is what we do. And you might also want to give them a baseball schedule or, you know, something along those lines. It's all how you treat leads and contacts differently. Now, next slide, please, Lydia. So now I'm not going to talk specifically about adding the actual logistics about adding leads to your database, adding names to your database. There are videos on KW Connect, and of course you could speak with Lydia too. It's something that nobody else really offers to the extent Keller Williams does. How do you get all these names and create a systematized way to connect with them? And to give you an example, back in the day, you know, when I started real estate, Abraham Lincoln was president. I don't know if you remember old Abe. He had this hat. He was a pain when he went to the movies, Abe, because you couldn't see over his head, you know? Back in the day, we used actual physical cards. And we would say, okay, here's Dominic. Here's his name. Here's his wife's name. Here's his kids' names. And you put them in a recipe box with a 1 to 31 file in them. And when you talk to Dominic, how's your wife? How are your kids? How's your dog? Oh, good. Let me ask you a question. Need our help? No, not now. All right, I'll follow up with you. You'd put them a month ahead, and you'd always follow them. What this does, what Command does, is it creates an automatic online tickler file where you could pull up people you need to call today in your phone on a repeating basis. And you could send them emails automatically, or as they say at Keller Williams, automagically. This is the real key. And take a look at all the KW Connect videos you can. And Lydia, if you want to direct them to the best ones, absolutely. All right. So next slide. So your goal is to add contacts to your database. And what happens is if you get on, do you do KW Command training for new agents, Lydia?
Yes,
I mean, show them logistically.
Their tech onboarding, they add themselves to their own database as a contact, and they see an example of how to manage that and how to add themselves to a smart plan, which is what they can do to every contact that they add to their database in the future.
Fantastic. So what does every single contact you add have to have? Not you, Lydia, because you know.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Email address. What else?
Phone number.
Physical address. Yes. What else does it have to have?
A name.
Phone number. Name.
A phone number, obviously. But what's the most elementary thing a contact has to have?
Address, phone number,
Name.
email,
Name.
Wait, did somebody say the word name? Dominic, was that you? Dominic, you're my favorite guy. You get the little plastic statue today. Because if you have somebody in your
it was
database
also
without
Sheena too. Sheena said it as well.
Sheena said, okay, Sheena gets another. You get another. I have 2 little cups for you.
I don't want to brag, but I also
cheap
said it.
trophies. But the thing is, if you don't have a name of that person, you don't have a database contact. Who is this guy you're mailing to? Well, I don't know. Mr. I don't know. So you have to have that. That's how you begin a relationship. Next slide, please. All right. So here's the cool thing. You could create tags for every name, right? So here's the way the Dean Team Chicago does it. We have A's, B's, and C's. Is this too complicated? A's is our best clients. We also have, out of our database, we have 12 A pluses. And these are the people that give us at least 3 referrals each year, historically. And then we have the A's. They'll give us at least 1 referral each year. And we have the B's. Well, they're nice people, but they haven't given us a referral yet. And C's are like people you meet at Walmart in the line checking out, right? And D stands for...
Hi, yeah, can I get 2 black iced coffee?
Oh, mute yourself,
with sugar
Mary.
and no cream?
Can we mute?
I'd like a large
yeah.
iced tea, light ice, unsweet.
I want something.
Hold on. I'm going to mute everybody, and then you could, if you want to talk, you could mute your way. Come back. I like that. I was going to order a latte, but the thing is, if what you're doing, right, is you're putting them in your database, you want to color code those different types. So A plus would be our top clients. These are the people that we endeavor to take out to dinner once a month or coffee. And then we have the A's. We'll contact them once a month on the phone. And then we have the B's. Well, we'll contact them maybe once every 45 days, and we might send them just email and text follow-ups. And the C's is I might not even have their phone numbers. If you want to talk, you could mute. You're going to mute yourself, of course. And so, in other words, and the D's are the people you don't want to talk to anymore. The D's. So, what would an example of a D be? Anybody? Unmute yourself.
Someone that was deceased or moved to a different country, maybe.
Okay. Well, even I talk to people in different countries, but yes, if they're deceased, it's tough to convert them. Unless you're Dr. Frankenstein, you can't bring them back to life. Give me another example of a D.
Maybe someone who consistently maybe ghosts you or doesn't return, like doesn't offer a two-way conversation. So you reach out to them, but you don't hear back to them. Ever.
It could be. It could be. You don't hear back from them. It's not a two-way street. Well, another addition to D's, but see, in my book, if they don't do that, I'll still keep them on, but I'll call them less, because I had a lady who called me yesterday. I haven't talked to her live in 3.5 years. And she goes, let me ask you a question, Dean. Would you help my sister buy a townhouse in Wheeling? Yes. I haven't talked to her in 3.5 years. So if I would have deleted her, I wouldn't have had that inbound conversation, right? So I still talk to her. The only people I'll delete, basically, this is it. Either A, if they die, because it's tough to convert a stiff, or they tell you, if you call me again, I'm going to call the police. Don't call me again. If they tell me that, legally, you can't call them anymore. Yes, do not call me. So those are D's. Or if you send out mail and the mail comes back undeliverable and you found out they listed with Sheena. Boy, I hate when that happens. When my clients list with Sheena or Jane or Shaheen or somebody like that. If somebody does that, I'll typically delete them unless there's another circumstance there. So, use D's very carefully. And that's the ranking. And that's how you tag these people, because not everybody is the same. A long time ago, I used to travel on airplanes for business. Anybody remember airplanes? I think they're still around. But I used to go up to the desk. In those days, you'd have to check in at the desk. There was no self-check-in and all that stuff. Boy, oh boy, am I going back. I turned around to my buddy, Abe Lincoln. I said, did you check in yet, Abe? And he says, I wouldn't let me in because my hat's too high. But back in the day, if you were a frequent flyer, I used to fly United. I was in their premier executive plan. And if you remember, anybody remember the old DOS-based computers? They didn't have a lot of graphics, but whenever they pulled up my name, they had dollar signs all around my name on a green screen with a different color green. Boy, CRT2, boy, that goes way back. Why? Because I mean more to them than somebody who's just flying home to see their grandparents. So when I would go up with the dollar signs around my name, they might say to me, oh, Mr. Moss. First of all, they call you Mr. Moss or Mrs. Moss or whatever, right? Ms. Gutierrez. Oh, you know what? Boy, today's your lucky day. We're going to put you in first class. That means in your trip to Cleveland, you're going to have as many drinks as you want, and you'll have this steak dinner that by the time you land, half of it is still on your plate. And we're going to give you glass china and silverware, real silverware, right? Why? Because they had all the dollar signs by my name. Treat the people that give you more a little. You don't want to treat the people that don't give you the business like garbage, but you want to make sure you prioritize your calls. And that's what tagging will do. Custom tags. So if you look at my database, it'll say cap A plus. And the cap A plus, the color I use for that is what?
Green.
Green.
Is it green? Yeah.
Stands for
Money.
right. You see, so however you code them, make sure you do that. Next slide, please. So we talked about database customized tags. I think you get that. Next slide, please. Managing your database. And so what you could do is you could create a customized smart view. Back. Whoop, we're too far ahead. Okay. So what you could do is you create a smart view. What do you want? One back. We're getting closer. One more. Back. All right. So you could add information. What are the names of their kids? What company are they at? Do they have a dog? You could create custom fields. So when you call somebody and they have two kids named Johnny and Susie, you'll be able to say, hey, how's Johnny? How's Susie? Oh, I hear did she graduate high school yet? The key is the more you make this rich, the more valuable your database is and your greater opportunity to contact. Now, you're not going to do that with people you just meet or throw in your database, but eventually you'll be able to do that. Next slide. One more. Move one up. All right, so then it talks about smart. Whoop, one back. We're doing great. I love this. This is called reality. You can record interactions. What did you tell the people? Talk to Akut. He was busy. He was changing his son's diaper. His mind is somewhere else. You don't want to talk to him if he's changing a little diaper. You say, hey, listen, I'll call you later when the diaper is on, right? But you could, at least you'll know he has a kid, right? So this is where you put your information, and you could go ahead and you could create smart plans. We'll talk to you about that in a second. Next one. So this is your basically running list of notes. See how we're getting through this? The sales pipeline. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Next one. So we're talking about cultivating your leads. That's the next step, right? Now you're talking to them. You've gotten a relationship. You know them. You know how important it is to move or not important to move. You know what their family situation. If somebody has 7 kids, for example, they're not going to move to a studio apartment on the lake in Buena Park. They're going to need something with a little room to it. If they have 4 dogs, a backyard becomes important. Yes? What's important to them? Ask questions. When I was doing this live, I put that whiteboard in the front of the big conference room at the office. I put a bunch of question marks. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. The key is to ask questions, not make statements. Because you want to cultivate these people, prioritize them, and go ahead with what you want to do to convert these people, create an appointment, create an active listing or an active relationship, put them under contract and close them. That's how you make money. Next slide. And this talks more about smart plans. And Lydia, tell us briefly in about a minute about the smart plans, okay? And are there stock smart plans? You have to create your smart plans from scratch. And by smart plans, we mean a system to contact your people.
That's right. So it is a way to automate your touches or contacts to your database. So you can set up your own smart plans. You could create custom ones, or we have a library of smart plans you can choose from. So if you go into command, go to smart plans, and then library, you can search by any topic. So if you create a smart plan that is very effective for you, you can share it with the rest of us and all of Keller Williams as well. But it's a way to leverage your time to be able to contact or keep touching your database to keep yourself top of mind as the person that they think of when they are thinking about real estate.
See? And it's easy. And this is the thing that's intimidating. You see, when people get fearful of something, thank you, Lydia, they don't do it. But if you could just push a button, for example, if you take a look in the upper left-hand side, monthly neighborhood nurture, biweekly neighborhood nurture, quarterly call plan. So let's say you meet people in your neighborhood. Do you see the reason you need to have their address? See, if you get their address, you could automatically plug them using the magic of Keller Williams Command in information. You're going to send them very often periodic updates about what's happening in your neighborhood. And you could do it in your neighborhood, right down the street. You could do it 20 miles away. So I'll just plug this in, and then there's automatic contacts, emails, and just minor creative. You have to change so it's you. You don't want to hear. They don't want to get an email that says John Generic. You know, he's not going to take the listings for you. But you could create this with a minimum of intervention. That's what smart plans do. See, now we're getting into the idea of cultivating your leads. You build your database. What do you do with them now? Because a 1,000 leads in a database doesn't mean a darn thing if you don't reach out to them. It's like if you go to somebody says buy this book from the bookstore, you buy, or from Amazon, you buy that book and it's still in shrink wrap and you put it on your shelf. Well, hey, I got Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Here it is, right here. And then it gets dusty and dusty and dusty. See, the way it works, it's not like you put it against your face and you absorb it. You have to actually go through it. And that's what cultivation is. Next slide, please. All right. Now, before we go to the recap, right, what I'd like to do is see what questions you have. So who wants to ask a question today? And hell, we have experts in the room. We'll be more than happy to answer them.
Oh, okay. There, in the beginning of this pamphlet, there's like a non-disclosure thing about not calling anybody on the do not disturb thing.
Do not call.
Right. Yeah. Do not call list. Where would we get that information? Like, is there a website for that, or?
Lydia, do you know?
Yeah, there is
You sure?
a website for that.
Yeah,
When you go on
there is. Go ahead, whoever's talking, I can't see.
When you go on the do not call registry
Mhm.
or do not call.gov, go all the way to the bottom. There'll be a link highlighted in blue, and then you could go on there and register yourself. And then it gives you you register like 5 area codes, and then it gives you a list. You can search numbers that are on the do not call registry. And then I think it's like $66 for every other area code outside the 5.
Okay. All right. And then just second question, like, do we receive like a list of like numbers we could cold call, or where would we get that information?
They have dialer apps for that.
You said dialer apps? I mean, would
Yeah,
this be
they
like
got
people that are
dialer apps.
interested in buying, or like, I mean, we don't want to like cold call like.
There's actually services like Arch Agent, all kinds of services that you can use and moderately priced. I use a lot of them, and on the actual service, or when they give you the numbers, it'll say, do you want to choose the do not call ones, or it'll have a symbol with the phone and an X through it. But yeah, Jane has a service too that she uses that's really good too.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Several ways to do it too, especially if you're new. For sale by owners and expireds, okay, starting with expireds and cancels, you can set up a search, and when I see you, or we could do a separate call, there's a way to set it up so you could get every morning the last 24 hours of expireds and cancels in your MLS. And from that, you have a list of people that were working with an agent. They're proving to you that they want to sell their house, but they just chose the wrong lady or guy. Those are great people, expireds and cancels. First year in the business, I did 16 of them. Well, 16, that's not a lot. 16 times 5,000 on average, that was 90 grand. You know, that's not bad. That's a bit of a living.
Yeah, that's definitely
that's
something I
one
would want
source.
to look into.
And as Sheena said, there's Arch Agent, and Jane uses those. You could partner up with another agent to share it and say who will call what, or another company called Landvoice, LANDVOICE. That's where I get my primary FSBO, expired, and distressed property contacts. Landvoice.com. Now, used to be $80. I think it went up. But if you get the link, there's a telephone number, call them and tell them you work with Keller Williams, one of the biggest real estate companies in the entire universe, and they'll give you a deal. Land Voice.
Awesome.
I hope that helps. Now, other sources of database, well, hell, you could talk to network with lawyers that you know, estate attorneys, right? Divorce attorneys, your hairdresser or your stylist. Who do you know that knows other people? And ask them the question next time you get your haircut or your hairstyle. Hey, I'm in the real estate business. Who do you know that might have mentioned to you? Well, my girlfriend, she's having a baby in 6 months. My guess is she's not going to live in that studio condo on Lake Michigan, right?
Maybe
she might
leave our
need a
business
bigger
cards
house.
there.
See, but go more interactive than here's a bunch of business cards, because at night somebody's going to throw them out. So create that relationship with people you know. Your doctor, your dentist, your accountant, your lawyer. People know people. Anybody that knows people. Contractors. You need to get your plumbing fixed in the house. Hey, John, who do you know that's thinking about maybe doing their house for a quick resale on their property? Who can I help? Well, nobody now. I said, well, you mind if I keep in touch with you? It's a soft touch, guys. That's what you need to do. In addition to the hard prospecting, which I do every day, and most agents that are serious do every day. Sheena, when you first, you do a lot of calls to people. Many you don't know. Most terrifying thing at first, right? And then after a while, you get used to it. Any other questions?
I have a comment. I'm going to, when everyone signs up with us, with our office, you all get in that packet, that very large packet of paperwork that you have to fill out. The last few pages are all about the do not call registry. So I'm actually going to attach that file into the chat so you guys can review about the do not call registry.
Right. Generally, the warning from corporate is if it's on the do not call list, you got to be real careful, because this is a very litigious society. And if somebody says, I'm going to do not, you can't say, hi, this is Dominic, and I'd like to list your house. Well, I'm on the do not call registry, and you called me, and I can go after you for that. You got to be real careful. In fact, being new, try to avoid people on the do not call registry. Now, if they call you first, you can call them back. But you have to create a marketing strategy to make that happen. And that's why we're doing all these things with managing and nurturing your database to make that happen more often. Any other, thank you, Lydia, very, very much. Any other questions? Nobody?
Yeah, question.
First, I'll have to
question.
Go
for
ahead,
Lydia.
I'm sorry.
It's a question for Lydia. Are we going to have any this smart plans class anytime soon?
Yes, and also if you want to do a one-on-one, because we did do a smart plans class, I think we did 2 last month actually.
Yeah, we did, but I was not there one time. Yeah. I think one time I was there.
If you want to do a one-on-one, let me know. Just schedule with me through my Calendly link.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah, thank you so much.
Cool. Anything else? Thank you so much, Lydia. Any other questions relating to lead generation? We got some good people here. We'd be more than happy to answer a couple more questions. Anybody?
Hey, I have a question. This is DeAndre Day.
Hey, DeAndre, boy. Hey, good to see you again, buddy.
Absolutely. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
Really quickly, I know for me personally, and I definitely want to hop on this call because one thing I've been really struggling with, and I know it's the beginning of the year, but I've had a record-breaking year for 2020, which is awesome for me, but it has unfortunately made me fall into the role of not consistently lead generating. So for instance, between February, really October through December, had a number of deals closed, was really trying to focus on making sure those deals closed. That kind of hindered me from really focusing on continuing to lead generate. Now, of course, I'm at a point, it's a new year. I'm really trying to recalibrate and get things running again. So as far as, especially some of the top agents in the office, if you can just briefly touch on your routine. I know, Dean, you're really good with starting super early in the morning, but I'm just really trying to focus on right now, trying to get back into that routine. And any advice or any help that you guys can give me as far as getting back in that routine, especially from some of the top agents, Sheena, Kim, or really anybody. What does that process typically look like, especially hitting the ground running for 2021?
Oh, you go, guys. This is very valid, very important. Who wants to make a suggestion to DeAndre?
I've been in that situation, and then you fall off of making your calls, and then you have 2 months of, oh my God, I didn't prepare for this and I have nothing. The best thing to do is to continue that and possibly have someone else join your team to help you, or never put aside your lead generation. You have to continue doing that. And maybe if you don't have the time because you're really busy, branch out on doing other kinds of lead generating, such as texting clients or marketing mailers, the geofarming, social media. But generate or keep at least an hour every day to send text messages or calls, and keep that in your schedule. If you don't have that in your schedule, which Kim Dietz taught me how to create a schedule, then you're not going to do it. So it has to be in your schedule and do it daily.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? What do you do? Anybody else? Jane, or one of the more experienced agents, Kim? Anybody?
Well, I think that the time when you get busy or your motivation is pretty low is, I think it's getting your spirit up again to get through this. Now, all my kids are grown, so mine would be different from yours. But, find your motivation. Just think about it, even if it's just 5 minutes a morning of where you want to be, 2 months from now. Believe me, I fall into the same thing, and I've been doing this a long time. So, just keep thinking about it, write it down. I have Post-it notes all over the place.
Yeah. I have a note next to my bed that reminds me to get up and breathe every morning, because if you don't, you can't do anything else, right? It's true.
My Alexa reminds me every day.
You do what?
My Alexa reminds me every day. Echo Show. Yes, lead generate.
Echo Show.
Just keep going until I turn it off. It's annoying.
See, but annoying sometimes is good. Sometimes you have to have your son or your daughter tugging at your shirt saying, "Mommy, you promised me a trip to Disneyland and you haven't been working enough to get the money to send me there." Tugging at your heartstrings. The other thing thank you, Sheena. And the other thing I can tell you real quickly before we go into the ahas real quickly, because I honor your time very much and we're slightly over time. And by the way, I very much appreciate it. We got 20 still on the call. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You got to start the next day the night before. What are you going to do tomorrow? So you've done your thing. You've had dinner with your family. You've played with your kids. And you have generally downtime before you get to sleep. So you could put something on Netflix and watch a movie, or you could plan your next day. Plan your next day the night before. What are you going to do? That should be part of your time block. And then the next day, start early. So I get up about 5:30 in the morning. Now, when I say 5:30 in the morning, I'm not saying you should do that. But I'm saying when I say 5:30 in the morning, that's not when the alarm goes off and I hit snooze for 2.5 hours. Can anybody relate? You got to just get up and you got to get into it, and you got to do it consistently every single day. And your morning should include reflection. If you do prayer, some people are prayerful people. I think that's great. Affirmations, review what you have to do for the day, do your workout, do your exercise, and you want to be in your chair beginning to work no later than 7:45 in the morning with all the stuff, all the people you have to call. So do what you need to do in time block fashion. Organize your schedule, DeAndre, to do that. Where people fail at that is they don't have that structure. You need to create the structure. You need to create the structure. That's my suggestion. Okay, guys, any other questions, come find me. I'm not in the office today, but if you're ever down in Chicago on Mondays, Wednesdays, or Fridays, and you're near the vicinity of Diversey and Lincoln, just yell and I'll open up the window and have you come up. I'm here with Kyle Crum today, who's on this call. So thank you for joining us, Kyle. All right, let's get some ahas. I want to get at least 5 ahas. And remember, the definition of an aha is something you learned today. Thank you for advancing the slide, that you're going to put in place in your business now. Who wants to begin? Give me an aha.
I'll start off. Something that I have for
Jimmy.
DeAndre is the DTD2. Like this week is A and W, and then you have to text. I don't know who I have to text, but basically that's a way that I lead generate. And this whole week is dedicated to A and W. So some days I get an hour of lead gen, so I hit those people. Some days I might get 2 hours. Some days I only get 15 minutes. But this week is only focused on touching those people, calling them, texting them, emailing them. Just basically kind of touching A and W this whole entire week and then moving on next week and trying to get all of that done from Monday to Sunday. So that's kind of a good way for me to lead generate or follow up with my database.
Fantastic, Jimmy. And they call that DTD2 because what you're doing is you're bringing it down to a system. Who should I call today? Well, it's A and W week. By the way, for those of us who remember, A and W is a root beer. Okay, but that's true. It's a lot. It's like, did anybody ever get up in the morning and you ask yourself this question? What shall I wear today? Anybody? I don't know.
Not anymore.
No, not anymore, right? So it takes you 40 minutes pulling outfits out of the closet, and all of a sudden you pick that stuff out the night before, put it on a hanger or a doorknob. Use your time wisely, time block. Thank you, Jimmy. That's fantastic. All right, who else has an aha?
I can go.
Go ahead, buddy.
All right. The way you explained the lead generation model, it's made it clear for me. I understand it very well now.
Okay.
And actually, I looked into it. I studied before, but I think like the way you put it together and then explained it today, that was a aha moment for me to understanding it 100%. So thank you for that.
Super. Thank you. And keep in mind, if you have trouble along the way, because there's a lot of stuff, reach out and touch one of us. I mean, not necessarily touch us because this is pandemic time, but just, virtually touch us. Give us an air hug. We're here for you. Thank you, Akut. Who else has an aha for today?
I really like seeing it was on the slide too, but just how many touches it takes to actually convert. Convert a contact. This is 36. So I like seeing that because you're not going to get, a customer conversion if you just send out a one text. You really have to keep that, like you said, cultivate that relationship.
That's so true. Dominic. I mean, if you want to grow a field of corn, right? You don't just throw the seeds in the ground and say, okay, I'm going to go watch some Netflix stuff. I'm going to watch The Crown. You have to nurture, you have to irrigate, water, whatever. And then all of a sudden you get this little tiny thing of corn. And if you were to say at this point, you'd say, hey, this doesn't work. What am I going to do? But you keep watering and nurturing. All of a sudden you have a field of corn. You can eat Frosted Flakes for the rest of your life. It all has the ability to do it and stick to it. Thank you, Dominic. Anybody else have another aha? We'll go with one or two more.
For me, I think a big aha was the prospecting, which is more a focus on making money now versus marketing, which is more about long-term results. So that
super. Thank you.
Put everything into perspective for me. So thank you.
See, you're sharing, and everybody is sharing stuff they could put into place today. This isn't maybe sometime out in the ether. It's today. One more. Thank you so much. Who has another aha?
I do. I was excited
ahead,
about, besides, feeling more enthusiastic because of this class and do what I need to do. But Lydia knows I'm not great with technology, and I see that little color coding for the A, B, C's, and D's is a great idea. And I was excited, but it's something I think I could do by myself.
There
Lydia.
you go. Filters are cool because if you want to pull all your top clients, you could just pull the reds or the greens or whatever it is. Greens is money, right?
Yeah.
And there they are. Now that
Yeah.
doesn't mean you call them every 12 minutes, but at least you have a strategy set up to
Yeah.
do it.
Yep.
You can't treat everybody equally. That's cool. Jane, thank you for sharing. Anybody else?
Just got a lot of motivation from today's class. Like, I got more like, okay, need to do something, for the coming year. Yeah, going to do more marketing and learn about smart, plans. So I can send, monthly, what is that? Monthly flyer or something? Monthly email.
Yep, or email, or whatever
I
you
want to
want.
learn that, yeah. So that would
All
help
right.
me, yeah, a lot, yeah. So
Super. You could begin to put that into place today. We're going to go in rapid fire order. Can you get the next slide, Lydia? Thank you, everybody, for participating. All right, one more. Go forward. All right,
Wait a
so
minute.
here's your goals.
There you go.
If you're brand new, this is what you should do. You have to have goals. You have to have, for new people, 10 contacts added to your database every day. Bona fide contacts. So Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck have already been taken. But if you could create a situation where you talk to 10 people every day and you add them to your database, so after a week, you get 50, and after a month, you might have 280. Wow, that's powerful stuff.
Hey,
10
Dean.
Yo.
On Monday, we went over this, so I'm curious how many people did add their 10 contacts between Monday. So you should have 20 now. Adding 10 on Monday, 10 on Tuesday. Can we get some hands? Let's see.
No.
Not exactly.
I see that. I can't see everyone right now.
I just added like 2, but yeah, I added only 2.
I
Yeah,
added a
because
few, but not 10.
Okay. Awesome.
See, what you do is what you make. What you do is what you earn. If you're sad, I'm not criticizing anybody. I love all you guys. But if you say, I only did 2, well, okay, then the end of the month when the mortgage is due, you're going to pay 20% of the mortgage. All right? And if you pay 20% of your mortgage, what's your lender going to say?
Yep.
Oh, don't worry about it. Not the way it works.
So throughout
10 conversations, 10 handwritten notes a day.
Yeah.
Right?
Throughout Ignite, this is everyone's homework in between classes.
You got it. And 10 home previews, your call on that. I used to do that when I was a brand new real estate agent in the business and we're in COVID. But and then back when this was written, the MLS was a far cry from what it is today. But you want to make sure you're aware of the market. And 10 handwritten notes is like, you don't want to use the handwritten notes as a reason not to call anybody. Okay? You don't want to say, well, I would make 10 contacts, but I had to make 10 handwritten notes and my hand is cramping. I don't want to call these people. You got to make sure you spend the time. Next slide, please. We're almost done. So scripts, we can talk about script practice. I suggested everybody new on this call get a script practice partner. It could be somebody with experience. It could be somebody that's new. But every day you want to have practice in how to lead generate. Guess what, guys? Other people in the real estate business have done this before. And you want to learn from the best in the business, many of whom are right here in our market center. Uncover motivations, identify objections. Gosh almighty. Has anybody who's an experienced agent ever gotten an objection when you ask for a listing? What do you say? What do you say when you say, okay, guys, here's our plan. We want to list your house. And here's where you sign. Has anybody ever encountered somebody that says, not so fast? Girl, not so fast, guy. What do you do? See, the phrase homina, homina, homina doesn't mean anything. You have to know how to handle those objections. I know Kyle's here with me, and he knows there's ways to handle objections. What you got to do is find a way to do it, how to close deals, how to speak in terms the customer understands. So if you say the words MCA and CMA and TA and AT and all this, nobody knows what the hell you're talking about. You got to make sure you talk like a regular person the way they talk, how to build confidence of them in you. It's all what it's all about. Next slide. Almost done. So we're not going to do script practice right now, but you guys need to know what you need to do. Next slide. We talked about do not call list. If it's on do not call list, you got to not call them. unless they call you or you generate a way to get them to call you. Next slide. Okay, you know you have to lead generate and you got to work on scripts. Next slide. We're almost done. Next slide. And the important one is the next slide. Next slide. Okay, you need help? You can go to KW Command or KW Connect or Lydia. But don't ambush her today. You know, she's got to take care of two little dogs. You know, you want to make sure you don't ambush her today. And final slide. I know there's more, but all right. So what you want to do is create a success list every day. And oh, by the way, when should this list be created? See if you've been listening.
Like a previous night.
The night before. So you get up in the morning, you don't have to think about what I'm going to wear this morning. You already know because it's hanging on the doorknob. Right?
Yeah.
If ladies, you have to pick out what jewelry you're going to wear the night before. What shoes you're going to wear. I know this is, my wife has been trying this for 20 years, right? You got to do this the night before. To do what you should do, what the priority of that is, and what the task you want to achieve. Have that in front of you every day. Put it on top of your desk where you're working by your laptop. So this is what you need to do, and it has to be done the night before. Final questions, guys. Has this been helpful?
No, but if anybody wants to script practice with me, let me know. I would love to schedule that in the morning because right now.
Ooh, Dominic's raising his hand. Raise your hand, Dominic.
Just talking to myself, but it's working. But it would be nice to have a partner.
No, you need to have. There was a guy in the office. He's no longer with the office. He would do that. He would sit in Starbucks, and they almost threw him out of there because he was practicing scripts with himself. Hi, how are you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller? What's good? You know, you have to anticipate, and you have to get people that are going to challenge you. So you got to get people to say this one magic word to get better when you script practice. No. Because you need, you know, because it's better to screw up when you're practicing than in real life. Absolutely. Anything else, guys? Did I do a good job for you today? Was I helpful?
You did great. You did great, Dean.
It was awesome. Thank you, Dean.
Oh, thank you. I love
so
you guys.
much.
If you need me for anything else, just let me know. Now, when you walk in my office, you won't see this fake background, but you'll see me. I don't have Joe Morella got a beautiful halo light. I got to, with your help, Lydia, I'm going to have to get one of those so I don't look like I'm in the closet. So, back, because I was sitting here and the light is off. We cool, guys?
Yep.
Yeah,
Have a great day. If you need me for anything, give me a call. Thank you so much for participating.
Thank you.
And make it rock today. Bye, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye. Thank you, Lydia. So very